Welcome, true crime lovers. This is Underage and Full of Rage. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Underage and Full of Rage, the podcast where the convicted are minors and their crimes are anything but. I am your host, Becky, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Adam.
Hello.
So today we are heading to the UK, so I am probably going to be botching pronunciation of places and shit, but what are you gonna do? So our story, more specifically, takes place in, here we go, to start things off terribly, Aberkenfig, which is a village in Bridgend, Wales. So if you have never heard of the first two places, I think everyone can wrap their heads around Wales, or South Wales to be more specifically. Is that more specific?
Yeah.
Welsh? Okay, I was like,
They're
what?
Welsh.
Oh, the Welsh. I feel like, isn't the UK, like, don't they have, like, for regions, like, kind of like how we have different accents here? Isn't that the same thing? Like, the Welsh have, like, a different accent as, like, Londoners probably, who then, like, then there's, like, another area. They probably have a different, it's kind of like here.
Yeah. And when you're, like, living in the slums in those areas, you get, like, real crazy accents.
Oh, like a super, like, twang type deal, like how we have for, like, the backwoods people. They got, like, a real twang that you can't really understand.
Like, when you're watching...
I didn't mean to go super south with that. That's just what it came out.
like, when we tried to watch Shameless, but the British version, and we couldn't understand anything.
Yeah.
It's like that, but, like, worse.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. That's so hard. The accents totally throw me for a loop. It could be the easiest accent too, and I still will be like, huh? I don't know why. It just like doesn't register sometimes. So I did. Anyway. Yeah, so I did find an article from 2024 about the village, and it described it as a place that is, although similar to the other villages in the area, you know, with its rolling hills, coffee shops, and beautiful countryside, it stands out due to its close-knit community and wide variety of local businesses. For instance, the article speaks about kind of like the unique dynamic of the village. It includes like mentioning a street that consists of a gun shop, a sex shop, and a family-owned hardware store that has been in business for the past 150 years. And then it emphasizes like, where else are you going to find this? You know, so
that's crazy.
It's kind of like, I don't know if eclectic's the right word, but it seems like it's a very...
I feel like that's something you would hear about in the South in the U.S.
Like just... a variation of like
what was that, a gun shop?
A gun shop, a sex shop, and then a family-owned hardware store that has been in business for 150 years.
I guess minus the sex shop, if I had something you'd see in the South.
Or, you know what, it's kind of like in Lewistown, in Montana, that strip where there was like the casino, the bar, but then there was also like just like a little coffee shop that we went to, that guy... it was like a weird coffee shop though, because it was kind of also like a bookstore or something.
Yeah,
I don't
like
even know.
Stationery store.
Yeah, that's how I can't even explain it.
Like wrapping paper.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's what that place has to offer. And yeah, it said that all in all, it, you know, it's just an area that has a solid, friendly, feel good spirit type of vibe. So pretty cool. It is then, like, considering everything that I've read about this place, it's no wonder that this community was completely rocked back in 2010 when word got out that a body, or the body of a missing 15-year-old girl was discovered face down with obvious head wounds in a wooded area that was known to be a popular hangout spot for the local teens. The body was identified as Becca Aylward, or Aylward, I don't know, so the spelling of it's interesting. It's like Aylward, so I had to like look up like how do you pronounce this, and the way it made it sound was like Aylward, so that's what I'm going with.
Sounds like it'd be over there.
So I don't know what that means. No kidding.
No, UK name.
So Rebecca was an intelligent girl with big dreams and a promising future. She was working towards becoming a barrister one day and was adored by family and friends. She was known to those who loved her as Becca, and I went back and forth with whether I should call her Rebecca or Becca, and, you know, like what felt appropriate, because obviously I'm not a loved one or family, or friend, I mean. So I thought about it. And basically the way I looked at it is like, if this was someone telling my story, since I am also a Rebecca who does not go by that, the name I would prefer that someone use. Basically, I think I would personally prefer they use Becky, because to me, I'm not.
That's what you go by.
Yeah, I'm not a Rebecca. I don't really like when people refer to me as Rebecca, because it's not my name. So judging by that, like, I'm gonna call her Becca, because I feel like if it was me, I would want somebody to refer to me as Becky if they were telling my story, if this should happen to me. So I will use Becca from here on out. It just feels right to me. So, anywho, let's see. So, a few years prior to this, horrifying incident, Becca and a boy named Joshua Davies would become friends, and eventually, over time, the two started to date. While they were together, it was said they both seemed happy, and according to Becca's mom, Josh came off as a normal kid. He was always polite, he never used foul language, and overall seemed like a decent boy. The relationship between the two kids went, beyond just them, because the families were actually quite familiar with one another, with both Becca and Josh's younger siblings being friends with each other before they had even started dating. So there was already some type of connection there. Unfortunately, though, with most romances that occur in your teen years, Becca and Josh did end up breaking up after only 3 months, with Josh being the one to end things because he was apparently interested in seeing another girl. So this obviously left Becca devastated at first, but, usual, as time goes on, the wounds slowly heal. And eventually she just, moved on and started seeing another kid. After she started dating this new kid, Josh apparently convinced her to break things off and was basically giving Becca the impression that he was still interested in her and wanted to get back together. I'm totally having flashbacks of one of my high school boyfriends who brutally ripped my heart out, and then just as things were going good would randomly pop up and set my world all on fire again. So yeah, I get it. So I feel like so many people can relate to that. So for the past year before Josh started showing interest in Becca again, he had been making some concerning comments about her, but all of his friends said that he would say he was going to do things all the time and never followed through. So they kind of just wrote him off. So at the time, no one took him seriously, but of course, hindsight is always 20/20, and clearly what his friends were mistaking for jokes or nonsense, or whatever you want to call it, were actually serious thoughts and threats. It turns out that shortly after Josh ended things with Becca, he started talking about killing her, with the mentions of this increasing as time went on, to the point that it became a regular topic of conversation within his friend group, mainly via text.
That's not a good regular conversation to have.
Right? Totally odd. So,
let alone over text messages.
I feel like people forget that their text messages are very traceable.
It doesn't just delete,
or
it doesn't just disappear from the ether.
Right, if you were to say smash your phone or something, it doesn't.
Does nothing.
Yeah. So some of the things he would tell his friends was how he, would do it and how he would get away with it, and talk about how easy it would be to kill her and that life would be just much easier if she wasn't here. Totally normal, right? He also would get... Were you going to say something?
What the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, my life would be so much easier. Well, how's about you just ignore the fact she exists?
Well, that's what I don't understand. You're the one that broke up with her.
She doesn't exist.
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. When I was in high school, one of my boyfriends broke up with me and then was a dick and would talk shit. And I'm like, go about your day, bro. You're the one that fucked me over, not the other way around. Fuck off. Douche. Fucking douche. Okay, so so he also would get into specifics about how he would go about doing it. For instance, he had a few different ways. He had a few different ways, and he would freely share these ideas with his friends. So, again, I don't know. I get eye-rolling your friend when they're saying stupid shit, or, they're acting tougher than they are. But if your friend is talking like this, all the time, don't you at least get annoyed and are tired of hearing about it? So aren't you just shut the fuck up? Like, dude, I'm
I
tired
feel
of...
like you gotta get annoyed at some point.
Like, I'm tired of this. Shut up. Like, who cares? Move on.
Yeah.
Right?
Get a hobby.
Yeah, especially because you claim you don't take him... If you're not taking him seriously, then it's annoying. It's not a joke. After a while, like, a joke gets old.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Even
like...
funny jokes.
Yeah, they get old. They're not funny anymore. Shut up. Move on. Okay. Whatever. So, one way he spoke about was to poison her with the use of plants, which reminded me of the little kid from The Sinner, the season 2. Because isn't that what he did with that cult? He, like, poisoned those people in the hotel with the plant out in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
He made, like, a tea.
Yeah. That's right.
So that's what that reminded me of. I was like, oh my God, that's like a real thing. So he also spoke about how he could push her into a quarry or a river, and he often talked about being able to cover up the murder so he would never get caught. Again, I understand having a friend who says shit to, like, seem edgy, but I don't know. I feel like if I had a friend saying this shit all the time, I would at least be like, I just feel like I wouldn't engage anymore. I'd be like, shut up, find a hobby. I don't care.
Well, at a certain point, you probably just stop hanging out because you're sick of hearing
of the conversation, right? Like, this is all this kid does. Like, I feel like when you go to...
the phone call that doesn't get made to the one person. Like, hey, we're all going out tonight. Don't.
Yeah,
don't invite him. All he's going to do is talk about killing his ex-girlfriend that he broke up with however many months ago. Like, shut up. I don't get... Because, like, it reminds me of, like, when you have annoying, like, coworkers that are constantly negative. After a while, you complain about the same 3 things. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Either do something or do nothing.
Yeah, so that's where my head goes constantly. It's like when people continuously talk about the same, like, 4 things that are bugging them or, like, the same topic, I'm like, we've already discussed this. Shut up.
Move on.
Yeah, it's just really freaking annoying. So anyway, that's where... Clearly, I'm very annoyed by this already. So maybe he needed somebody like me in his life to tell him to shut the fuck up. So the last time Josh, quote-unquote, joked about killing Becca was just weeks prior, and one joke in particular that was made and is probably what this case is mostly known for, mainly due to how callous it is. It was a text between him and a friend where he inquired what would the friend do if he actually killed her, and to this, the friend told him that he would buy Josh breakfast. Apparently, Josh and his friend, his friend group or whatever that he had, like, that's been all texting with all these conversations have been existing with, they would meet every Saturday for breakfast, and even during these meetups, the conversation about killing Becca wasn't spared. I can't. I can't.
It's ridiculous.
Right? Again.
Move on.
Yeah. Like, how many times are we going to talk about this? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So when this came out, obviously this was, what the journalist ran with, and there are several articles out there with headlines that, he killed her for a free breakfast and all of that. I get it. You have to sell papers, right? So, but the real story in actuality... But
do you?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
That way.
They also don't have souls usually, so I guess it's okay. In actuality, though, an official motive for what he did was never actually really established. I think that's probably more frightening when you have someone who becomes, especially as young as he is, because he's only like 15. So like when you become so obsessed with killing someone, but you don't have a clear reason why, that's I just feel like that's pure lunacy, right?
Yeah. There's got to be a reason.
And like...
If you're talking about doing it that much, there's got to be an underlying reason. There's got to be something.
That maybe you're just not disclosing, or maybe you don't even really know.
Or maybe you don't, yeah.
Because...
Why else would you talk about something like that much?
But I just would love to know what she could have done, because she's not the one who broke your heart. I would just love to know what she could have done to anger you so much to the point where these thoughts, like, just consumed you. Especially because you're the one who broke up with her. That's the one thing that does not make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a dick.
Apparently.
Anywho, 2 days leading up to Becca's murder, Josh casually reaches out to a friend, via text of course, and asks if they are still meeting up for breakfast, to which I'm assuming the friend said yes, because Josh also texted him, "Don't say anything, but you may just owe me a breakfast." The friend's response to this was, oh, I thought he was gonna, oh, I can't. Ready? "Best text I ever had, mate. Seriously, if it's true, I am happy to pay for a breakfast." Like, why are you entertaining this? This is what I don't understand. I get, like, you think he's joking and stuff like that, but, like, why even entertain it then? Like, I don't get it.
Teenage dickheads.
Just being stupid and thinking that they're cool. They're so cool. Maybe. Well, probably. Okay, and then Josh replies to this, which I didn't understand at all. Maybe you can. It confused me. His response to that was, "I hope by then it will be done and dusted." What does that mean?
I don't get it.
What does that even mean? Right?
I don't get it.
Dead air. I'm so confused. I have no words to say. So let's get into what went down. Josh reached out to Becca and asked her to meet up on Saturday afternoon. Becca, excited about rekindling the relationship, said yes to the meetup because she was under the impression this might be a getting back together meetup. So with the encouragement from Josh, she breaks things off with the new kid she had started seeing that I was talking about before. And then she goes out and buys herself a new outfit. So on October 23rd, this is a Saturday, Becca is in, this is 2010 again, just a reminder. Becca's, in a great mood. She is singing and dancing before she left to go meet Josh. She's wearing a red jacket and brown ankle boots, the new outfit she had just bought specifically, or specially, I should say, for this meetup. And, before she leaves, she says goodbye to her mom, tells her she loves her, and heads out. On this day, she ended up catching a ride with some relatives to go meet up with him. So they drop her off at Sarn Hill. I think it's Sarn, S-A-R-N, Sarn.
Sounds like
right?
it.
Sarn Hill. At around like 12:30 in the afternoon. And this is, unfortunately, is the last time the family will ever see Becca alive again.
That's horrible.
I know. This is why it's so important to just tell people, even if you're angry with them, that you love them before you part ways, because you just never know. You just never know when the last time will be. Her family knew that she was meeting Josh because she told them so, and said that he would be, the one to drop her back off at home later, so she didn't need a ride or anything. She didn't need to be picked up. Which I have to interject here because I just thought it was comical. For someone who bragged about not getting caught so much, he never once considered that she might tell somebody who she was going to meet, automatically linking him as the last person with her.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought that was great.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. I was like, that's when I love when they're so stupid. You know what I mean? I love when they're so cocky, but they're so dumb at the same time. It's just...
You're also leaving such a friggin' paper trail with the text messages. You're literally writing on the wall of your bedroom, "Don't get caught."
Yeah. Or, "This is how to catch me."
Yeah.
More. I feel like that's more appropriate.
Fucking idiots. Anyways.
So they drop her off and her family goes about their day. And as the day goes on, the family starts to become concerned because she hasn't returned yet. And by Saturday evening, with still no sign of Becca, her family calls the cops and a search ensues. Meanwhile, after meeting with Becca, Josh went back to his grandma's house and updated his Facebook page to "Chillin' with Friends." He also relaxed and that's such of the times, Facebook. Okay, so he also relaxed and made himself a nice cup of tea while he watched Strictly Come Dancing. I've never heard of it. And No Country for Old Men, which obviously I think everybody knows. But have you ever heard of Strictly Come Dancing?
No.
I should look it up after this. I
You can sit down and drink a cup of tea?
Yeah. We are in the UK.
I
was going to say we are in the UK, so that is actually kind of fitting. Then he texted Becca asking her to get in touch with him because everybody is worried about her. So obviously he's creating his alibi here. Becca's body wouldn't be discovered until the following morning around 9 a.m. in a wooded area. Still dressed in her red jacket and brown ankle boots, she was face down with her hood over her head. Josh and another friend known only as Boy B are quickly picked up and arrested. Because not only was it well known that Josh was the last known person to be with her on Saturday, but Boy B, thank God, ended up telling his parents the following day what had happened. So at first, Josh denied having anything to do with her murder and immediately pointed the finger at his friend Boy B, while Boy B was obviously saying Josh was responsible. So basically, it started earlier in the day when Josh was hanging out with some friends, including Boy B. And at some point, he is on the phone with Becca discussing meeting up with her. When he hangs up with her, he looks at his friends and says, "The time has come." So his friend asked, like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And Josh just said,
Dick, the time has come.
He's such a loser. This kid is such a fucking loser. And then if you have to see a picture of him too, because he even looks even worse.
2010, can I call him a Herb? Or
oh my God.
Fucking late?
I think it's too late for Herb, but he's definitely a tool.
He's a fucking Herb.
He's a tool for sure. He's got like these like awful dyed blonde hair, and it's a terrible haircut. It's like kind of like, it's like that 2010 like weird long bowlish. It's terrible. So, when his friend, like, asks him, like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" He just says that, no, I'm messing around. He did make sure, though, to post a shit ton of hateful stuff about Becca before he left to go meet up with her, so.
Because that doesn't point any fingers. Fucking idiot.
Exactly. A couple of hours go by when Josh calls his friend and told him to come to the forest. When the friend asks him if he is with Becca, Josh giggles and then asks, "Define with." Such a douche.
Seriously.
So the two friends arrive at the forest, and one of them like runs ahead to meet up with Becca and Josh, sorry. But then, he like quickly returns and then tells the other friend that Becca was lying face down on the ground, like kind of confused. So the friend said that when they finally met up with Josh, he was calm and he had just told them that he hit her over the head with a rock. He said she was screaming and that he just kept on hitting her and she eventually fell to the ground. He then shared with them that the rock had blood on it, so he threw it in the bushes. The friend said that him and the other kid, like him and the other friend that were there, were shocked and obviously scared after hearing this, but the whole time, Josh was his normal self and kind of laughing about it. The friend said Josh acted completely unbothered by what happened and came across as if it just wasn't a big deal and that he was pretty much going to get away with it. Like, no concern whatsoever.
It's insane.
Yeah, the friend mentioned that Josh was giggly and really confident, which is frightening, honestly. According to friends, it wasn't a secret he hated her for some time after they broke up. Again, I couldn't find a reason as to why he hated her so much, though, especially because he's the one who broke off with her. So that's the thing before when we were talking about, like, there's got to be some reason, even if you hate the girl that much, but why? Like, there has to be a reason for hatred.
Yeah, what's the actual reason?
So what is the reason?
The disdain for a person.
And this is where it's like, this is what I'm saying, like, this is where, like, no motive or anything, because, like, just hating a person, yeah, it's motive, but, like, why do you hate them is more about the motive.
Yeah.
I killed them because they cheated on me. So I hate, like, my hatred for that, like, there has to be an initial reason why. And I couldn't find one. So I have no idea. It's so weird. So according to Josh, none of this is true. And he only told the friend he killed her as a prank, but didn't actually do it. And then when Boy B showed up, Becca was still alive. And when Josh, like, laughed about the joke, it angered Boy B, and that's when Boy B attacked Becca and killed her.
Wow.
So not only is this story absolutely terrible, but a major part of this story that didn't make sense and Josh didn't have an answer for was the simple question, why didn't you do anything? He legit could not explain why he didn't intervene or try to stop Boy B from attacking Becca at all. So, real believable. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Josh didn't do himself any favors either because after he savagely attacked and murdered Becca, he boasted about it, doing such a great job at that cover-up. He was telling friends how he attacked her from behind and that he was trying to break her neck, but she was screaming so much that that's why he ended up picking up the rock and beating her in the head with it until she died. Fucking awful. Just so awful. That poor girl. And she was tiny. She was really fucking tiny. She was like, I think it was like 5'2". I can't remember her exact height, but she was only 6 stones. And when I looked that up, it said it was only like 87 pounds.
That's tiny.
Yeah. So whether she's 5'7" or 4'10", 87 pounds is tiny.
Yeah.
So like that's the other thing too. Like it's just so awful. Like to just be overpowered and be so tiny, and then just just terrible, just absolutely terrible. This is even worse too, because then he decided to also share with his friends that her skull giving way was probably the worst part of it. Like, just to be so casual about it, you're such a dick. So, Josh was being held in detention at Her Majesty's Pleasure, which is such a great brothel name. What are you talking about? You were about to say horrible name.
Horrible name for a fucking prison, jail, any type of facility to hold anybody that is of any degeneracy.
This is where you are wrong, my friend, because I thought...
like the Queen gets off on...
Well... I thought it was I thought it was too like the name of the detention center, and I was like, that's a very, very strange name for a juvie center. So I looked into it because I was like, I feel like
that can't be right.
This is a lie. So it turns out it's not like any place. It's actually when you look into it, it's actually like the type of sentencing that applies to minors. So, and at one point it was His Majesty's Pleasure, and then they changed it to Her Majesty's Pleasure.
It's probably back to his.
Oh, because
King Charles.
Queen Elizabeth passed, so maybe. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. So I looked it up, and for anybody who doesn't know, it's actually the sentencing for minors. Basically, it's so like whoever commits horrible acts, so including murder, such as murder, as minors, it's saying that the young offender will be detained until it is determined that they are no longer a threat to society. So usually with this, they don't receive any type of minimum time like we often see with life sentences.
Yeah.
But the judge in some cases may give one. It's just not recommended. So it sounds like when someone is in detention at Her Majesty's Pleasure, their sentence is for an undetermined amount of time because it's completely based off of the individual and their rehabilitation. So it could be anywhere from a few months to life in prison if you don't rehabilitate.
So if you're really good at hiding how sick you are, you could be out real quick.
Yeah, if you're like a master manipulator,
That's crazy.
Which most
psycho criminals are.
Or sociopaths and stuff are very good at that shit. So that's really frightening.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, essentially that's what Ed Kemper did. After he killed his grandparents. Because he killed them when he was like, 14 or something?
Oh, yeah.
And then he convinced the facility he was in, like the psych ward or whatever that he was in, that he was all better. Good. And they were like, he's a smart young man. He's a stand-up guy. And that's how he got released.
So well-spoken, too.
He's very well-spoken.
Like mild-mannered and everything.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, isn't he the one that does the audiobooks?
I think so.
Right? So, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting.
That's it. Yeah.
The only thing I will say this, the only thing I was not sure about, I don't know if I missed it or if I just didn't like read enough on it. I'm not sure if this is given as like the official sentence or if it's what they do while the child's kind of being held while they're waiting trial and stuff, because Josh did have a trial, was convicted and sentenced, but he did get a minimum, so I'm not sure if that minimum was just like the recommendation from the judge or if it's like a formal sentencing. So I don't know. That's only
he was one of the ones who got one of the few who got the minimum
like recommendation thing. Yeah, because I saw that like it's like Her Majesty whatever, but then it's like but then he goes to trial and gets sentenced. So that's the only disconnect I wasn't 100% certain on.
Yeah.
So my bad. But let me get into the details now of everything. So at this point, all signs are pointing to, 15-year-old Josh Davies murdering Becca. Even though he refused to admit any wrongdoing, and throughout the 5-week trial, he stuck to his version of events and consistently denied any involvement and shamelessly blamed his friend for murder. Like, you're a piece of fucking shit.
Yeah, asshole. You are an asshole.
Like, so since if anybody could convince them that he's fine and could get out in like a few months, it would be this kid.
Yeah.
So since the trial had begun, Josh, now 16, had shown no empathy and at times was seen laughing and joking with his defense team and would often smirk as the details of the incident were being read out loud.
Way to keep an innocence look.
I feel like in these cases, that happens so much. Like, I feel like a lot of our stories, the kids are, like, disconnected from what's actually...
Yeah, well, you are a kid, so you don't really comprehend.
And, I mean, when you're 15...
You comprehend, but you don't comprehend.
Yeah, and I feel like it's one of those when you're that age, it's the way they are in court, it's almost like... I feel like it's like as if they're in the principal's office, like not taking it serious like that. Like nothing's
like permanent, really.
Exactly. So I feel like it's just like transferred from that. Like they're taking it as like the same level of being in trouble. Like, oh, whatever, I'll just get a suspension. You know, like
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, because I feel like almost every single case we've done, there's always something about how they were just like careless in the courtroom and like really didn't give a shit or didn't take it seriously, because that's what people also were saying about him, that it was just appearing that he just wasn't taking this entire thing seriously at all. And I feel like we get that a lot in our cases.
Yeah.
So Josh once again denied any wrongdoing, and he continued to blame his friend, even claiming that he witnessed his friend hit Becca 6 or 7 times with the rock. Luckily, no one was buying this, and on July 27th, 2011, after deliberating for 4 days with a 10-2 verdict, the jury found Josh guilty. He was sentenced to life with a minimum of 14 years, with so many questions still unanswered, because he's never confessed.
It's crazy.
He didn't confess at all. So 8 years go by, and one random morning, Josh, still in prison, wakes up and asks to speak to someone. His request is granted, and after 8 long years of claiming he had nothing to do with Becca's murder, he says, I did it.
Wow.
Can't find a reason, though.
No reason.
He just said, I did it.
Yeah, at least he admitted.
So, because I had the same, not your thought, I agree with the mom, and I had initially had the same thought she had. This was the first time Josh finally admitted it, and I mean, at this point, he hadn't even told his family. So you wait 8 years. You have 14 years before you have to go before parole. Obviously, the only way you can get out is if you take accountability. So the timing's suspicious. And Becca's mom immediately had to side-eyed it as well. Like, the second he said that, I was like, he's doing it for himself because he's got to look good to get out. So you have to admit it at that point. That's why a lot of people who are in prison that are innocent
or not guilty,
they're not going to take fault for something they didn't do. So a lot of the times parole doesn't work in their favor, because the parole's like, you haven't accepted responsibility, and they're like, I'm not going to accept responsibility for something I didn't do. I shouldn't even be here.
For shit I didn't commit. No.
And then it's fucked up, because then at the same time, then you're torn, because you're like, do I just say I did it so I can get out?
And then admit that you did something that you didn't do.
Yeah, so it's fucked up. So, I mean, that's the thing. So the timing of the confession, I mean, obviously only helps him. And this will help him get an early release. So why wouldn't he finally choose to admit it?
He's got every reason to.
Exactly. And, I mean, her point to it, too, the mom's point was like, obviously this is only to benefit you, because if it wasn't, then why wait 8 years? Like, if you...
Why not give a reason?
Yeah, and if you were so, like, guilt-stricken, you would have confessed years ago. You would have confessed at the time. Like, you don't wait 8 years to when you have less than half left before you have to, for early release, you know? Like, it's just too convenient. So I think it was a very selfish move, and I don't think it was for any other reason than for himself. And, like, yeah, of course you get the admission, but it's at the same time, it's like, you didn't even need to admit it because we already know you did it.
Yeah.
You tool. We want to know why. I don't care. Like, you know, at that point, I don't care that you admit it. I want to know why you thought it was okay to do that to another human being, or why you thought it was okay to, like, if you're the mom, to take my daughter. You're an asshole.
Yeah.
Sorry. I hate tools. So... now, Josh was up for review, because remember, this happened in 2010. So, 2024.
2024.
Yeah. So Josh was up for review this past February. And since I can't find anything about him being released, the only thing I can assume is hopefully it was denied and he's still in prison, you know?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find anything. Even trying to look up like UK inmate shit, like, I don't know, I couldn't find anything on this kid. So I have no idea if he's still in or if he's out. I figured an article at least would be written about him being released, but I can't find anything. So I'm assuming he's still in prison. Hopefully he is. I don't know. He's got an extra air of douchiness to him, so I only hope that when he went in there, it like amplified it and he kept like fucking up, so it like kept him in there. You know what I mean?
You ain't going anywhere out.
Yeah. So, as for Becca's mom, she is determined to keep Becca's murderer, who she refers to only as the monster, behind bars forever. The Aylwards still keep Becca very much a part of their lives, and since her passing, her mom had kept her room exactly how she left it that day, and continues to celebrate Becca's birthday as she would have wanted. Unfortunately, it hasn't been all smooth sailing for the family, since Becca's younger sister actually fell in love with Josh's younger brother. And since then have gotten married and have started a family of their own.
That's a wild.
It's a crazy twist, but this is not what the episode is about. So, I mean, if you're interested in those details, you can easily look it up. I didn't want that to take away from the story, but I did want to mention it because it is the truth of what's been going on in the family. Yeah. It also, you know, like doesn't change the fact that Becca is gone and will always be remembered as the ideal child who was beautiful, clever, kind, smart, funny, and someone who would never hurt a fly. So to wrap this up, I'm going to end with a quote from Becca's mom. "We have been dealt the life sentence, not him. The monster should rot in prison until the day he dies." Agreed.
I like it.
And that, everyone, was the tragic murder of Becca Aylward. So you know what that means, folks. It is now time for our shithead of the week. And Adam, who do you have for us?
Got a guy named Frederick.
Oh.
He didn't look like a Frederick. I don't know why I think that, but whatever.
I feel like Frederick is a very, I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
When someone doesn't look like their name.
Yeah,
I get that.
You know what I'm saying.
I don't know what he looks like, but I get what you mean by saying that, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, this is back in 22 in Charles County, Maryland. 2022.
22. Okay, because it kind of sounded like 22 could also be like 2002 kind of sounded like at first. That's why I was double checking. So 2022.
2022. Yeah.
Okay.
So some buddies hanging out at their house and they look outside and like,
Where is this?
Charles County, Maryland.
Maryland. Okay.
And they look outside and they're like, what is that? I think I see something.
Oh no.
And then they look outside again and they see somebody standing out there like, dressed from the waist up.
Ooh, never a good start.
And they see this dude on the fence line, and apparently he was performing some sort of sexual act on himself while peeping through the windows.
So he was just like masturbating while looking in other people's windows?
Yeah. And now here's where it gets good, because it's 2022. So people have been recording everything under the fucking sun at
the
this
Ring cameras
point.
and shit. Yeah.
They fucking linked this dude back to doing this shit to 2019
Whoa.
in that same area. And apparently, like in Maryland, like he got like trespassing and stalking and peeping Tom charges and shit. All gross. Nasty.
So did he get that from this incident, or he has like a history of it?
No, he got it from this.
Because I was gonna say, like, that's pretty shocking.
And then they were able to like link back to some videos from like 2019 and shit.
It's crazy that I feel like he didn't escalate, because usually peeping toms and stuff like that, and those,
maybe he
like,
was just starting,
like,
you know what I mean?
Well, I guess maybe when
he was just like picking up.
Maybe master, diddling himself was the next step before he then like entered somebody's home or tried to attack somebody.
Yeah.
God forbid. Oh my God. Ugh. Thank God they found him.
People are gross.
I don't know how anybody gets away with anything these days.
People are gross. Yeah, I
the
don't
amount
get it
of
either.
footage that's just being recorded constantly.
Just everything, no matter where you go.
Ugh. And that was Maryland.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So
gross.
What's What's the jail time for something like that?
I have no idea. Total transparency, I didn't look. I just saw what he got charged with.
So indecent exposure.
Trespassing, stalking. Because I guess you get nabbed
Oh.
with... You could have those charges brought up against you, I guess. Doesn't necessarily mean it was a guilty or anything, but...
That's weird he didn't get indecent exposure because he was like diddling himself.
He might have. I don't know. Maybe I missed it when I was writing stuff down. No.
I feel like probably because you're a half-assed human being.
It is what it is. They're perverts. They don't deserve anything.
I mean, yeah, that's why they deserve to have their full demented stories out there so people know you're a shithead. Hence the shithead of the week. So on that note, thank you for listening, everyone. And if you liked hanging out with us, let us know by rating and reviewing us. Tell your friends, and don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, I have to mention this. I just discovered this yesterday when I was futzing around on YouTube on our page and stuff. I don't know why, but a handful of our episodes generated as private, not public. So I just went in and made all of
that's
those.
weird.
Yeah, I don't understand why the setting
Wonder
randomly.
if there was stuff talked about or something.
I don't know because it was random that were private and other ones were still public. So like our most recent one before this generated as private, and I'm like, I had no fucking idea. So I went in and made them all public. So go back and check those episodes out. Fucking weird. And I apologize. I don't really know what else I could have done. So I'm just going to monitor it more closely now. But if there is also a case you would like us to cover, hit us up at uafrpod@gmail.com. And until next week, please don't be a douche.
And keep your pants on.
Yes. Ew, gross. See ya.
Stay out of people's backyards.